Hello, 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 incredible ones. Darnyelle, Jervey Harmon here, and I am joined with another amazing, incredible, phenomenal client at Incredible Factor University, which is our suite of coaching and consulting programs for high achieving entrepreneurs who want to become CEOs of businesses that serve them financially and spiritually. So I'm excited to present and introduce to those of you who don't know, although you should know and you will know, about Mrs. JoLanda Rogers. Hey, JoLanda.
Good morning.
How are you?
I am wonderful. I'm wonderful. Like I'm energized. I'm excited. I'm thrilled. I'm just on 10.
Yeah, you look beautiful as well. So take a few minutes and just tell everybody who you are in your own words.
Yeah. So my name is JoLanda Rogers, and I have the amazing opportunity to be the founder of Talk Consulting. Talk stands for Tell Your Story, Accept Your Truth, Learn Your Identity, and Know Your Strength. Under the umbrella of the consulting agency are two lines of services. One is publishing and the other is inner healing counseling. And what I do is really work with people to share their journey through a message of healing, hope, and survival.
Awesome. 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 Good stuff. And so how did we connect? How did you hear about me?
Okay, so I have a cousin who is amazing. And I have like literally looked up to her my entire life. I stalked everything she did, from how she went to college, the way she kept her grades up, things she did in church. And I was like, okay, I need to watch her. So we connected on Facebook, and she posted this photo saying that she was going to Business and Breakthrough. And I'm like, okay, tell me more. So I inboxed her, and she was like, okay, little cousin, you need to go. And she sent me the link, and I read through it. I was like, I think I'll try it. I'll see what, all of this is about. Because anything that she's been involved in, it has always been amazing. And this turned out to be another one of those things that was just truly life-changing. So I attended the business breakthrough in business back in May.
Yeah.
In May of 2019, and my life has not been the same.
So talk a little bit about your breakthrough experience. Like, I remember our special moment on day 3, but you talk from your vantage point, what was breakthrough? Why has your life not been the same since you've come to that event?
Well, first of all, it was an opportunity to be in a room with like-minded people. And like in the region that I live in, there isn't a lot of, opportunities to come together and connect with high achieving individuals, that like there's no insecurity in the room. You don't know if the person next to you is a millionaire or if they're a six-figure, like everybody's just together. So the fellowship was awesome. The atmosphere was awesome. Like you were treated like you were elite, no matter who you were. And people were just so free. And I love the fact that it incorporated principles of the Word of God into business. As a believer, that's incredibly important to me. And because I do inner healing, one of the foundations of my program, it is faith, And so to be in that, and I'm like, wait a minute, they're believers and they make money? Okay.
Right, there is such a thing, right? Yeah. Like, so for those of you who will watch this, you do not have to choose. You can love God and make amazing money. And I want to introduce you to a space where that is happening day in and day out. And so I love that you shared that. And so at Breakthrough in Business, you made the decision to enroll in our Business Growth Accelerator. So talk a little bit about what made you decide to enroll, and then we'll talk about what your experience has been like participating in the accelerator.
Okay, so for sure, day 3. If you haven't seen it, find me on Facebook, Talk Consulting. There's a link up there of my, what do you call that?
It was your big breakthrough.
My big breakthrough, yes. So there's a part in the training, I'm not gonna, spoiler alert, where you really just have an opportunity to acknowledge what your fears are, right? And be honest about them. And it's crazy because you're sitting in a room with amazing people and everybody got fears and you're just laying them out there. So as a illustration of really breaking through those fears, we had an opportunity to break through a board. And right away, my mind was like, I can't do this. You know, I shattered all the bones in my right wrist. So just physically, it's not possible. And so I created like all of this noise in my head.
Yeah.
And the things that I had written down were so powerful. Like fear was one of the things to break through, and just having a bad relationship with money and not being confident in the way that I show up in the room. Mm-hmm. And so I watched everybody around me. They're breaking through boards. And I'm like, come on, God. Like, you are not going to have me out here the only person that can't break this board. Mm-hmm. And when I went up to do it the first time, like, I couldn't do it. And my feelings were so hurt. I'm like, oh my God, Lord, like, I want this, I'm willing, but I couldn't break through the noise. So I walked away and I looked at the board and I said, what else is missing? And for me, it wasn't the fear of failure. It was the fear of success. Mm. And I was even scared of the fact of what happens if I actually do break through this board? Mm-hmm. You know, what does that look like? So Darnyelle came over and just really helped me to center myself and to silence the noise, the confusion, the worry, the doubt. Mm-hmm. And at first I still couldn't do it. So now I'm like crying, and she's like, okay, walk around, just to kind of change my positioning physically, and then to go back again to the place. So everybody is like watching, rooting me on, which is huge, because where do you go where there's like other professionals, some in your lane, and they're rooting for you? Yeah. And so she was like, okay, we're going to try this one more time. Take a deep breath in. And I can sense it now, which is one of the things I love about episodic healing, because every time I go back to this moment, mm-hmm. I'm like, I can do anything. Yeah. So Darnyelle is standing in front of me and I'm there, and she's like, okay, just count it out. 1, 2. And there was something in me that still wasn't sure that I was going to break through. But guess what? I did. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And when I felt that board go through, I promise you I felt some break.
Yeah. And what I love about everything that you just said is, and just to dial it back for those of you who will watch this interview, is that every single one of us at every single level, there is a new devil. There are more fears that have to be conquered in order to get to the next part. And if you think that you are fearless, as there are experts out there who want you to be fearless, like there's really no such thing, right? Fear is always going to show up because it was created by your ego to lead you to believe that in that moment, that's your safe place. So there's always going to be fear. But what happens is that we get to the place where we do not let our fears stop us. We actually see the fear for what it is. And that's an indicator that we're on the verge of our next level. And we open ourselves up to the ability to actually make it happen. And what we experienced together in that moment, JoLanda, was coaching at its height. An opportunity for me to come in on the outside looking in, help you to reposition yourself, because often all you need to do is change your positioning, right? And then in so doing, create a space and hold that space for you to get to the next level. That, ladies and gentlemen, is coaching. And so for me, it was the most beautiful moment, even as you just recounted it just now, and the hairs on my arms were standing on end, and I had chills because it took me all the way back to that place. And that was the first time I ever coached someone through breaking their board. But I knew I was up for the job, which is why I got down off the stage and came face to face with you to create a space for it to happen. And that's what coaching is. And those of you who are coaches and consultants and healers that are out there, you know exactly what it is that we're talking about. And there's an opportunity when you do that work to get knee deep in your work with your potential client. I didn't know if she was going to sign up or not, right? But it wasn't about whether she signed up. It was about in this moment, she's already made an investment in herself to be with me at Breakthrough in Business. I have a commitment to see this through and help her to get her breakthrough. And it ended up being the most amazing representation for you, because you ended up coming into the accelerator. Now talk to them about your experience in the accelerator.
Okay. And I don't know, I'll just say this. I don't know if you did it on purpose or if it was intentional, but I promise you that moment, nothing else in the room mattered. And
that was intentional.
Oh my God. And so to have a coach invest that time with you where the room is full of people and they're just like, nope, right now, I'm getting ready to make sure you get this breakthrough. So like I couldn't even scale back, or the fear could not stand in the face of the coaching that I was experiencing. Yeah. So then there's accelerator. What have I experienced? Exponential business growth over the last 15 weeks. And one thing I said, like when I was asked about my experience, is you can be good at what you do, but if you don't have the systems in place to work for you, to make what you do easier, like you're working too hard, one, and you're selling yourself short. And I didn't realize that. So the accelerator helped me put systems in place. And one of the biggest parts of it for me was the mindset modules that really helped to settle the truth in me that I belong here.
Oh, that's so good. That's so good. Oh, wow. Wow. That's good.
Yeah.
You guys, you heard it here first. Like, I don't even know what to say after that. That was perfect. So talk about the intensity of it, because it is an accelerator. So that means it moves fast, right? There's a lot being asked of you in your business, a lot of things that need to get put in place so that you actually start to see the results. So talk about that part of it.
It's not for the faint at heart. Like, I'll be absolutely honest. If you're not willing to invest the time into it, invest the space, the creativity, the willingness, it won't work for you. However, if you do, there is no way you won't see results. Like, it's impossible not to see results if you do the program. And so what I also loved about it is that it took you through strategically, like layer by layer by layer. So as I'm getting to the end of it, week 2 makes more sense. Week 4, and I'm like, I get it now. And it was just going deeper into building out my concepts and just my business brand.
Yeah, definitely. Now let's talk about some of the results. I mean, you added some clients and you made some money. How many new clients did you add over the last 15 weeks?
Wait, I got to pull my sheet up.
I know the number because I just read it, but I want you to say it.
Over the last 15 weeks, what I'll say is that I've definitely added clients, but what has been even more amazing than adding clients is that I'm adding my ideal clients.
That's good.
I'm adding people that's not like trying to nickel and dime me and get a million discounts for the work that I do. People whose hearts are ready to be invested in the publishing process or the healing process. And that's what's been huge. So I acquired 8 new authors in my publishing business and enrolled 14 new clients in the soul healing counseling program.
Wow. So that's a total of what? 22.
Yes. So 22 clients under the brand of Talk.
And these 7 are new speaking engagements.
Yes. 7 speaking engagements. One of which I don't even know how it happened, but it happened, right? And so module 7 talks about your confidence and just that mindset and confidence being the new currency, et cetera. And so they asked what my honorarium was. So I shot back a number. No exaggeration. They sent me a contract 10 times the amount that I told them.
Wow. That's awesome.
Yeah, the requirements of the event didn't change. You know, they were like, yeah, we just kind of think you're worth more than that. And that moment, I was like, okay, I have to eat, sleep, live, drink, breathe this confidence factor. So yeah, that was huge too. And should I say how much I've made?
Yes, I was going to ask you the money next. And the reason why the money is important. So for those of you before JoLanda even shares, we're sharing this just as an example of what's possible for you, right? I believe that when you invest in yourself through working with me at Incredible Factor University, you will get a return on that investment. And so JoLanda's return on her investment to date, 15 weeks in, her program's not entirely over at this particular point, is she's got a 4 times ROI right now. Actually, almost a 5 times ROI.
Yeah. So, in the last 15 weeks, and these are new clients. So these aren't people that I'm just bringing over that I knew before.
Right.
This is since I've started the accelerator. My business has generated $40,000 between my publishing and my counseling. Yeah.
Which is
real
a drop
dollars
in the bucket.
Yes.
I mean, her investment was a drop in the bucket to produce that. And the cool thing about the accelerator is that you get lifetime access to the content. So every time she wants to up level, she can go back through it again and make more money. We had a person I just had an interview with last week or 2 weeks ago. While they were in the accelerator, they generated about $25,000. And since the accelerator's been over, they've generated $100,000.
Wow.
Like not including that first 20 or 25, 100,000 new dollars just after the accelerator is over. So this is something that sets you up on a course and trajectory to shift and change the way that you do your business. And while you're doing it, you're building a business that really serves you. So let's talk about that a little bit. JoLanda, what has been the difference? I mean, money is great, new clients, yeah, getting your work further out into the world, but let's take it a little bit deeper than that. What are some of the other ricochet benefits that have come out of participating in the accelerator for you and your family?
So I'm a unique entrepreneur, business owner, clarification, in that I'm a mom of 4. My husband works full time. I have a high schooler and a preschooler. Like, just let that sit for a minute. And so doing everything that I do is so important for me to be present. So I go to basketball games, volleyball games, preschool recitals, and I was in a position where I started having to sacrifice those things and make that choice. And since the accelerator, again, those systems have just made things flow. Like once I meet with a client and I have that discovery session, if we move forward, I'm no longer investing 10 to 15 hours just preparing for them. I'm investing 1 hour, plugging some information into my systems that are already set up. And it's like a set it and forget it. I'm done. And then I'm only focusing on the relationship part with my client, which I love having more time to do that. And because of that, I have more time to, like now, I'm in Kentucky with my husband because he's working and I'm just hanging out, writing and just doing some work. So it's freed up my time and I'm no longer hostage to my business.
That's so good. I mean, and if you're out there and you would just love to get some time freedom, then the way to do that is to create systems. And that is what the accelerator is all about. It's walking you through the core tenets of taking your business to the next level and setting up the systems along the way so that they start working for you. Your money multiplies, but guess what? So does your time, which is so awesome, so amazing. And time is the one thing we can never get back. I mean, you heard her say she's got a high schooler and a preschooler, magical moments happening at both levels, and to be able to be fully present for them, that speaks volumes on the difference that having the right business model and making sure that it serves you both financially and spiritually, what that can do for you. JoLanda, so if they're thinking about whether or not they should look at the accelerator as their next step to finally once and for all get everything set up the way that it needs to be so that they can build out their business, what would you say to them if someone were to call you and say, hey, should I do it?
I would ask them, do they want to see change in their business? Do they want to see growth? And if that answer is yes, then you need to do it. And I go further because now that I have that confidence swag going, I'm fully in full belief that eventually I would get to this point in my business, right? Where I'm not working as hard, where I'm seeing the financial profit of it, but to do it quickly, hence the term accelerator, you need this program. The other thing is, I know for myself, I also thought I'm doing well. Like I can get clients, my brand isn't terrible, et cetera, et cetera. But then why am I not seeing the profitable results that I want to see? So you can be amazing, but if you're not literally living a life that you love, making money that's easy for you to create a legacy of wealth, then the accelerator will help you figure out where the gaps are.
Yeah. And I love that you said that because I think also thinking about, your rates when you started the accelerator and what they are now and how they have exponentially changed, which, makes it easier for you to be able to have all of the things that you need to have in your business. How long do you think it would have taken you to raise your rates to that level if you didn't have me and the support of me and our coaching team? Because we're going to talk about the coaches in just a second as well. Like what kind of a difference or how long would it have taken for you to get to the price points that you're at now?
My preschooler will probably be in high school. And I'm not even at the final price point that I want to be at. And I love the accelerator because it lets you grow at your own pace.
Yeah. We call that the confidence curve.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So for those of you who are listening, let me just explain the confidence curve to them really quickly. So one of the things that we do in the accelerator is when you become a client and as you're going through your weekly homework, your homework is reviewed, right? It's reviewed by me or a member of the coaching team, and we're going back and forth with you on each element of your homework. And when it comes to the pricing, like I know that one of my secret superpowers is that I can see you the way that God sees you. And in so doing, I can see what your value should be in the marketplace. But often I end up holding the space for the client until they're at a point where they can see it for themselves. And so we create what we call the confidence curve. Here's an example. I believe that your price point should be $10,000 for whatever it is that you do. The most you've ever charged for it is $1,500. The likelihood that you will be able to go from $1,500 to $10,000 without wanting to pee yourself every time it's time for you to tell somebody that those are your prices is not likely. So what we do is we create a stair step. We create a strategy and a way to get you there over time that supports you, that heightens your confidence, and allows you to continue to increase your value, right? So we might start by doubling it, right? It might go from 1,500 to 3,000, and then you might bring on 3 or 4 clients at 3,000, and then we raise it again. It might go to 5,000, and then you might bring on a couple of clients there, and then we raise it again, and we raise it up incrementally to support you and to allow your confidence to be heightened, so that every single time you're in a discovery conversation, you're literally able to communicate from a place of power and confidence about who you are and what you do and how you serve. And that's something that comes out of this program. So I wanted you to talk a little bit about the amount of time you get with me, although it's a group program, as well as the fact that you have the added resource of life and productivity and accountability coaching. Would you speak to that a little?
Yeah, I think the time that we get very similar to like being at the breakthrough experience, that moment, although it's a group call, you can tell that you're intentionally focused on us. Mm-hmm. So you're not like looking at somebody else's paperwork while you're talking, like you're in our paperwork, you're in the homework assignments, and you're tracking with us. Okay, so what did you mean by this? Nope. How about we change this? Or what did you? So just basically asking those questions to help us think through it more. So it's a group, but it's also individual.
I was going to say, did you feel like you were in a group, or did you feel like you got individual time with me every single week?
I felt like I got individual time with you. What I love, though, is that there will be certain points where I would say something and you could see like the faces of the group members. Mm-hmm. And you're like, okay, let me just ask everybody on this group. Don't y'all think that JoLanda can XYZ? So the group experience to me was also a supportive point, you know, and it was good just to know that questions I had, other people had, like we were all emerging to this new place of showing up in the world in a different way.
Yeah.
So it was definitely the one-on-one experience and the engagement of knowing you're taking this journey with someone else.
Yeah. And then what about the private coaching?
So I love the private coaching for more reasons than 12. One, they sound like Darnyelle. So they sound like you, which is the bomb, because if you have people in your business, they need to be able to replicate your sound. And both coaches that I spoke with, like they had their own swag, but it was the same voice. And so I was hearing again, why did you charge that? Okay, so when are you going up again? So we're going to double it now. And then what's your commitment? So the one-on-one coaching gave me an opportunity to make commitments, stick with them, and then have somebody follow up with me to say, how did it turn out with that client? Which I have one coaching call left, and I cannot wait to tell her the victory that I've experienced during our process.
Yeah, which I think is awesome. And that's part of the reason why we integrated in. You know, you get me for your business strategy, but then we also brought a life coach and an accountability and productivity coach on the team to make sure you're fully supported over the course of the accelerator, and everything that needs to change within the parameters of your business has the opportunity to do so, which I think is really, really powerful. Any final thoughts, closing remarks about the accelerator and why people should consider it as their next and best step to get to the business that they really love so they can fund the life that they crave?
What you just said. If you seriously want to do that, it's worth the investment. And when you talk about just being drops in a bucket, oh my God. So looking back on May, would I do it again? Yes. Mm-hmm. Yes. And if you're not sure, like you're watching these videos, like, I don't know, then come to a live event. Mm-hmm. And I promise you, something in your spirit will connect to what is happening in that environment. And it will be the assurance that this is your next. Awesome. And I knew it.
Awesome. Good stuff. All right. So if you are listening or you've been watching this and you are like, okay, Darnyelle, we should at least have a conversation. I agree. You have an amazing opportunity to apply to have a conversation with me or a member of my team so that we can talk about who you are right now and, more importantly, who you desire to be and what is the gap that's keeping you from it and how our programs might be able to help you to get to where it is that you desire. And you can start that conversation right now by going to coachwithdarnyelle.com. That is coachwithdarnyelle.com. JoLanda, thank you so very much for being here. For those of you who are watching, just know that you are incredible. And having a business that serves you financially and spiritually is your birthright. And there is nothing that God would enjoy more than to make that happen for you. And I would love an opportunity to participate in that journey. We'll see you next time. Take care.